Hurricane Milton is on the way, or by the time you're watching this video, it may already be here, but things are already intense. Most of the grocery stores have already run out of food. Most of the gas stations have already run out of gas, or they've been shut down. You look at many areas in Florida well before Milton hit, and they already look like they just got hit by a hurricane, because they did. The cleanup process for Hurricane Helene hadn't even really gotten a chance to really get into full swing yet, because now we got Milton coming through, and all of these areas are already filled with debris, pieces of houses, pieces of boats, cars, trees, you name it. So it's a really intense situation. But it's not just the storm that's intense, it's the feelings and emotions. For those of you all who have ever been through a hurricane, you know what I'm talking about. You can be easily overwhelmed by all of the feelings and emotions you get when going through a hurricane. I'm talking anxiety, fear, even excitement. Excitement about the unknown, excitement about not knowing what's really going to happen. So you're just hit with all of these emotions and feelings. It's crazy. And in many cases, it makes you feel this overwhelming sense of gratitude, when the storm is over. And in many ways, it makes you kind of forget about a lot of the other problems. It makes you forget about the differences you may have with your fellow citizens and neighbors, and you kind of come together for a moment. But there's also something that always disgusts me when it comes to hurricanes and evacuations. Speaking of evacuations, evacuating from a hurricane is not easy, okay? And in many cases I've seen with Milton, many people had to abandon their vehicles because they stalled out, ran out of gas. It's like bumper to bumper traffic. Sometimes it will take you an hour to get from one exit to the next exit. It can be really crazy. But one of the most disgusting parts of hurricanes is that it never fails. Every hurricane that comes through, you would be surprised by how many people just leave their pets behind. And I'm always disgusted by that. Now listen, sometimes you got farmers and ranchers, and obviously they can't bring the whole farm and ranch with them. So sometimes they're left with no choice but to leave their animals. And in most cases, they'll open the gates and they'll mark the animals so the animals can hopefully run and try to find higher ground and somehow survive the storm. But in other cases, many people just leave their house pets behind. Their cats, their dogs. And they'll always say, oh, I couldn't bring my cat, I couldn't bring my dog. In most cases, you can. Maybe it will inconvenience you. Maybe you'll find trouble finding a hotel that accepts pets, or maybe you'll have to spend $20 extra that you ain't got. But listen, if it's me, my pets are coming with me regardless. If I got to sleep in the car, I don't care how inconvenienced I am. I'm going to make sure my pets are okay. I'm not going to leave them behind in a storm. But even worse, what a lot of people do, a lot of idiots do this, they literally will chain their dog up in the backyard and evacuate. Not leave it in the house to roam freely or anything like that. They will chain it up in the backyard, basically leaving their pets to drown. And I don't know what they're thinking. They think that, I just don't get it. I don't even want to try to put myself in that mindset to try to think what is going through these people's heads. But you see it all the time. It's so disgusting. But today, I woke up to something new. I hadn't seen this one before. And it really sent me up through there. It really pissed me off. Like I said, we're all overwhelmed by this mixed feelings and emotions because the storm is coming. We're uncertain about what tomorrow is going to look like. Our house is going to be wiped away. Our tree is going to fall on people. Who knows? But, I saw this video and it really angered me because this is like next level. But instead of describing it, let's go ahead and watch the clip. And then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Philadelphia 1313, 1065 Signal Forward. but
It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
275 supply and
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
So a massive hurricane is coming. I'm going to go ahead and assume that whoever this dog belongs to most likely already got the hell out of town. And the brightest idea they could come up with is, hey, we're going to chain our dog to the side of the highway and hope that it's okay. Like, what is the thought process here? Do you think that you're going to come back from evacuating a week from now, you're going to come back to town and your dog is just going to be sitting there waiting for you perfectly fine? I mean, by the time law enforcement arrived, it was already, like up in it to its legs, in water. Like, if anything, and this isn't right either, free your dog somewhere like Free Willy and allow him to run and hope that someone finds him and picks him up, or by the graces of God, he survives the storm. But no, and I'm not saying that's a good thing either, but it's better than tying him to the side of a freeway so he can slowly drown and not get away. Because that is very clearly what was going to happen to this dog. But luckily, the troopers arrived and they saved the dog. And this story actually has a good ending because they took the dog to the vet. No injuries. The dog is fine. And it's receiving care right now as we speak. But this is something that we see all the time. Listen, not necessarily tying dogs to the side of the road, but tying dogs up in your backyard and evacuating for a hurricane. We see it all the freaking time, and it never fails to disgust me. But yeah, this is a little something new. And when I saw this morning, I just couldn't help but really just try to think what is the thought process behind this? How do you see this going? When you do this, what do you think is going to be the outcome? Because the only outcome is that this dog is going to drown while tied to this post. I mean, if it wasn't tied to the freaking side of the road, maybe it could possibly escape, swim, I don't freaking know, do something. There was a dog found that survived Hurricane Helene. It was found up 20, 30 feet on top of a tree. So, I mean, at least give the dog a freaking chance, but no. We're going to tie it to the side of the road. And like I said, you see it all the time. People will tie dogs to poles and stuff in their backyard and just leave. Oh, we'll hope for the best. We'll come back a week from now and hope the dog didn't drown. It sickens me. But I just wanted to point this out. And I mainly wanted to talk about this because the story actually had a good ending, and we usually don't see that. You usually see the worst happen to pets who are left behind during hurricanes. But for now, let me know your thoughts about this, though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and as always, remember to remain opinionated.